All right, I'm just going to do this here. The next probably 20 stories are going to be about the story in Granite City that is blowing up, about the teacher who had the relationship with the girl, who then wrote this giant manifesto on how he groomed her. This is about to be covered on every news station in town. Journalists rarely get shit right, so I'm going to go ahead and set the record straight because I know a lot of the people involved, and I feel like I can tell this story fairly. If you stick around, I'm going to blow your mind. If this is not your thing, come back tomorrow for regular content. We are going to start in 2014. We're in Granite City High School, Granite City, Illinois. Peyton Tilson is a popular, beautiful freshman in 2014, and at the same time, Mr. Kreider is a young, popular, well-known teacher, and he is asked to take over the journalism program, which by all accounts he does a great job with. Over like 100 kids sign up, including Peyton, which starts this relationship between teacher and student back in 2014. Fast forward June 2018, so after graduation, media gets a hold of a story that a teacher in Granite City has resigned for an inappropriate relationship with a student. That teacher is Mr. Kreider, the student is Peyton Tilson, and Peyton has filed a restraining order against him. And all of this is documented in the media. So the story kind of dies down, goes away. There's no other information released. Eventually people stop talking about it, but it's a small town, so nobody, forgets. So imagine the shock of the entire town when just a couple weeks ago, June 22nd, 2022, Peyton posts this on her Facebook profile. You can tell by the number of comments that the entire city lost its mind. So lots of comments under her relationship status, like, what are you doing? This man took advantage of you. Why are you with him? But it's been 4 years. She's a grown-ass woman. Like, I didn't feel a need to comment on it. I also don't know her personally, so I just saw it and it went by. Then comes July 2nd, so just last week. Disgraced former teacher Andrew Kreider releases this. 266 pages of what he framed to be like his side of the story. When I saw it, like, I really was going to read it with an open mind. Like, I'll never approve of a student-teacher relationship, but I don't know. I'm just going to say that I went into this reading it with an open mind, thinking he was going to kind of tell us, like, this is how it happened. I know it shouldn't have. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was not expecting peanut butter titties. This is not his side of the story. This is not him defending himself. This is a manifesto of exactly how he groomed and took advantage of this young girl. We find out in like chapter 1 that he calls her peanut butter titties. And if that's like the inside joke you've seen going around, that's why people have been doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over his 266-page manifesto and what we learned, like the words that came out of his own mouth of what he did with this girl. This would probably be a good time to mention that Mr. Kreider is married to a woman named Holly, and he has 3 small children with her. It seems like, according to him, most of this relationship started taking off her junior year. So she would have been 16 years old. That is when they became close, he says. That is when they started exchanging funny messages and emails outside of school. In this manifesto, he brags about how well he flirts with Peyton and how he rarely restrains himself when he's with her when it comes to flirting with her. Again, she's 16 years old at this point. And if I didn't make it clear before, this is the young, fun, good-looking teacher that all of the girls had crushes on. So to be 16 and to be getting all of his attention probably felt pretty good to a girl her age. Fast forward to her senior year. By November, he is waiting for her every morning before school. She's like the editor of the paper, and he does something else with it. So he starts referring to the two of them as a power couple. Over Christmas break was when things started really picking up. Ironic, because she turned 18 on December 22nd. So suddenly, this is when things pick up. But he's already at this point playing mind games with her. For example, she texts him on New Year's to say Happy New Year's, and he instantly starts strategizing that he's not going to text her back right away because he's going to leave her on red on purpose because he knows it'll bother her and she will want to hear from him more if he ignores her for a while first. Again, this is his student. I mean, aside from the fact that students and teachers should not be texting outside of class, you know, if you did have a student message you and say Happy Thanksgiving, how many of you go into a strategy mode of how to fuck with their head over when you text them back? This is fucked up from the start. So they're texting back and forth all over Christmas break. In January, this is when he has a big awakening because he donates blood in the high school gymnasium. If you've ever donated blood and you've had it go out of your body a little too fast, this thing happens where you start to pass out. And it's scary, don't get me wrong. I've done it. It's not fun. But he claims it's his near-death experience. He thought he was dying giving blood. And so he says that while he was on this lawn chair in the gymnasium giving blood, thinking that he's dying, that he did not think about his mom, he did not think about his wife, he did not think about his 3 kids. All he could think about was Peyton and how he had never told her that he loved her. So this now became his mission to let her know this. Let's go to Valentine's Day. He is passing out those little like candy hearts and making all of the students read whatever one he gives them aloud, and they're all boring ones like Be Mine and stuff. He has one in his pocket for her that says Kiss Me, has her read it out loud, locks eyes with her. He likes to have like strong nerve with her in front of the class and like push her, you know, to feel uncomfortable. That's another part of his kind of strategy with her. March 19th, she is leaving his classroom. He pulls her back in by her backpack and kisses her for the first time. Spring break is March 25th is when he goes to her house and has sex with her in her childhood bedroom for the first time. And he describes every intimate moment with them in disgusting detail. I mean, it's like, it is 50 Shades of Grey. And the fact that he is writing this shit about an 18-year-old girl, I don't care what the fucking law says. You are not an adult when you're 18. You might be able to go to jail by then, but no. He gives us so many details. One of them is that he lets us know that his dick is pathetically average. And if there's anything that guys lie about, it's their height and their dick size. So if he calls his dick pathetically average in public, he's fucking hung like an elevator button. And as you're going through all the things that he wrote, his coldness is what gets you. He has no guilt. He has no shame. This is what he wants. He's obsessed with her. He's like, this is not love. This is obsession. He refers to a time that I think he and Peyton either got in a fight or broke up. And he's like, look, I've been through the death of my dad. I found my brother dead. And none of those things compared to Peyton not talking to him anymore or something along those lines. It is a really, really deep obsession. What I want people to know now is that this teacher, Andrew Kreider, he comes from a great family. I know his dad. I knew his brother. His brother was my brother's age. He was over at our house a lot. You can't be responsible for the shit your family does. You just can't. And you can't judge someone's family by the way one person acts. And I just wanted to say that his dad has passed away. Alan was a really fun, outgoing guy. His family. Also, y'all know I'm a nosy bitch, so I'm going to share with you a YouTube video I found of Peyton in Mr. Kreider's class. And this is in room 270.
I'm doing the vlog this week. I'm only doing it because Chad Ware is the most annoying human being on the planet, and he's asked me to do this like 27 times a day for the last week. Today is Tribe Fest. Very busy day here at Green Hearts.
Yo, Peyton Tilson, what's up?
Doing Kreider's job, like always.
Watching people walking in the door right now.
I know what you're thinking. Like, how did nobody know about this? There were signs. His wife Holly was onto it. First of all, he had told her that he thought he wanted a divorce. Like, he knew he wanted a divorce, but he was kind of stringing her along. At one point, she found some text messages from Peyton to him that were inappropriate for a teacher and a student, but they weren't sexual yet. She confronted him. He said he wouldn't talk to her anymore. Additionally, her stepmom, Jennifer, who was the mother figure in her life since she was a child, was also onto this, checking her phone, which is how they ultimately got caught. Was they were, having a family pool party. Her mom got into her phone, saw the exchange between her and the teacher, and appropriately lost her shit. Okay, so it's about 2 weeks until graduation is when her stepmom finds out, loses her shit. Dad's pissed off too. They make him come to the house. They explain to Mr. Kreider and their daughter, how wrong this is. They're not allowed to see each other anymore. They are now checking her phone. They're on top of it, but you cannot, it's really hard to outsmart kids and technology. So what she was doing was, with her Snapchat, she was adding him, having a conversation with him, and unadding him. So anytime her mom looked at her phone, it didn't look like they were communicating at all. It does not appear at this time that her mom or dad go to the school. Now, remember, this could not be true. This is his narrative. We have not heard from the other side yet. I don't envy the position his mom was in or his dad, and I don't judge their decisions, because holy shit, if my kid were 2 weeks from graduation and I knew that if I went to the school that her name was going to be plastered all over, I don't know what decisions I would make. Clearly she's trying to handle it as a family. She's not like sweeping this under the rug. She's on top of it. So for the next 2 weeks, everything is really, really hush hush. The mom thinks that this relationship is over. Meanwhile, at the same time, Mr. Kreider's wife, Holly, is growing more and more suspicious. She's checking his phone, but not finding anything, because, again, they're using Snapchat and the unadd re-add feature. She asks for the phone records. She wants, the printed out phone records, and he won't give them to her. And then he realizes, she's going to keep asking for him. So what he does is he starts calling the National Suicide Hotline and having conversations with the people on the hotline, pretending to be suicidal. And that way, the next time Holly asks for the phone records, he prints out one page and says, "This is why I didn't give it to you. I've been suicidal and I did not want you to worry." So graduation happens. They're in the first week of summer, and rumors start spreading. And a teacher at the school, who also happens to run the entire student council program, which Peyton was president of student council, and this teacher, who I've known for 30 years, has given her entire life to these kids in student council. She would protect them at all costs, and she caught wind of it. And the next thing we know in the story, according to Mr. Carter's narrative, is that Miss Ames is on the phone with Jennifer, with Peyton's mom. So the fucking jig is up. This is a part where he goes on a whole tirade against Mrs. Ames, calls her a nosy fucking bitch, all this stuff. And I just want to say, if I were Mrs. Ames, I would never be so proud as to be called a nosy fucking bitch. When it comes to protecting kids, you bet your fucking ass I am going to be a nosy fucking bitch. Because if it weren't for those nosy fucking bitches, people like him wouldn't get caught. Around this time, the school principal, I think it is, Mr. Depew, finds out as well. He has a conversation with Mr. Kreider, and he resigns. So this loops us back to the original news story back in 2018. Some people are running around with their hair on fire, saying that the school didn't do enough. This is the part that I can't speak unbiasedly on, because again, I know these people. I know Miss Ames, I know Mr. Depew. I know them to be nothing but wonderful people who would go do anything in the world for these kids. So anything I'm going to say in this part, if you disagree with me, you're going to disagree. It's just what it is. But I do want you to remember the facts that, number one, she was 18 when this happened. Number two, the school did not find out until graduation was over. Number three, the teacher had already stepped down. Number four, the parents already knew. I don't know what more really, what, make it a bigger news story, embarrass her more? I don't know. You can't do anything criminal. You can't, because she's 18. And I know that it's frustrating. But another big thing to remember is this. All we are getting right now is his narrative. Okay, his. The teachers have not gotten to say anything. They have not gotten to speak up for themselves. At the very least, we should hold off our judgment until this is, until they've had a chance to explain their side of it, because if you're going to believe everything that comes out of his fucking mouth, you're an idiot. So I'm not reading the shit that he's writing as Bible. I'm giving you what he said, and then there's a lot we're going to have to interpret on our own. The story that he writes ends with her getting the restraining order against him. He doesn't know why. And we don't know what happens between that moment and the moment we are in now in 2022, when the two of them are obviously back together. I know that it has caused a tremendous amount of hurt in both families. I think that there are a couple of really unsung heroes in this whole story. The first one, far and away, is Holly, his ex-wife. I mean, holy shit, did she, number one, dodge a bullet, and number two, handle that shit with grace. And it would have been like fucking open mic night at the trap house. I would have been flipping tables, spray painting cars. That woman deserves a gold medal for the fucking shit she put up with. Another hero, MVP of this story, is Peyton's grandpa, Grandpa Ed, who has since passed away, but is the one person who showed up on fucking Kreider's front porch ready to kill him. I'm surprised that he didn't, but Grandpa Ed, you did a great job. My last MVP in this story goes to Mrs. Kreider. As moms, we are called to love our kids through everything. And that's what she did. And I know it wasn't easy. I know it's still not easy. I mean, the woman has buried her husband. She's buried a son. She now has a son doing this. And she's called to do the hardest job any of us could do, which is to love the monster. And so, like, she's going to be in my prayers every single night. If you want to read his whole manifesto, it's on Facebook. She shared it on her Facebook page. It's disgusting. It's hard to read. I covered the important shit. I mean, like, don't give him the click, honestly. Like, I told you everything you needed to know. This is going to be covered by all the news stations tonight, and as the whole world is going to be debating this the next couple days, I want you guys to remember that two things can be true at the same time, and we don't have to fight about these. Number one is that an 18-year-old and a 32-year-old in the right situation can absolutely have an adult relationship that lasts for a long, long time, and there's nothing wrong with it. And the other thing that can be true at the exact same time is that what this man did in the position he was in made him a fucking child grooming monster. We send our kids to school every day. We think that they're safe. We don't think that they're having sex in the classroom with their adult male teacher. We don't think that every time we leave to go to the lake with our family that teacher's coming over and having sex with our daughter in her childhood bedroom. Everything this guy did was wrong. Everything. Take what he did out of the school and put it in the real world. Sure, giving a kiss me heart to that's cute. That's flirting. If you're in the regular world, if you're in a position where you are a teacher over a student and you are in charge of not only that kid's grades, their assignments, you know you have power over her, you know that you're the teacher that everyone thinks is cute and fun and wants the attention, and on top of it, she has to see you every day. So even if she wanted to break up with you, how the hell would she get away from you? Had he restrained himself and done none of this and started this relationship after high school, it would have been hot gossip. Like, ooh, she's dating her former teacher, but it would not be criminal. You guys have to understand the big line that is drawn between these two things. And if you don't understand it, I'm going to guess that you're not the parent of a teenager, because like Peyton, who, you know, of course, she doesn't think that this teacher did anything wrong. She loved him. She wanted this attention. She wanted this relationship. So in her mind, she's just as much to blame. However, one day Peyton's going to probably have kids. She might have a daughter. She's going to find herself sitting in her daughter's parent-teacher conference with her 17-year-old daughter and a grown fucking man in his 30s. And she's going to look at that situation and go, oh my God. Oh my God. And then she's probably going to need a lot of therapy. I wish her just nothing but the best. She's such a beautiful girl. I hope that she does not, at this point in her life, no one's going to tell her what to do. So there's no point in her listening to the media, the interviews, anything anyone says about her. I hope she drowns out all this noise. I hope she finds happiness no matter where, who it's with. I hope and I know that she has friends in her life right now that love her and do support these decisions. I mean, she's going to need people. Like, she's going to need it. Like, the whole world is telling her she's wrong. So God bless her friends right now that are supporting her and seeing her through this, even if they do or don't agree with it. So it's going to be on the news. There's the freaking story. Holy shit, I need a Tylenol.